Hiya, hiya. Joey Reynolds on a weekend. It was nothing. There was no news. And when news is scarce, it's because everybody is minding their own business. But now we're back in action again, and I see where there's a podcast with Bruce Springsteen and former President Obama, and they were both together. They're both friends. Obama and he got to be very close when Bruce came to the White House, and he performed for the staff during the last days of the Obama administration, and they matched notes. And I guess Bruce Springsteen, I got his first album here, which is Born to Run. I guess he was not born to run, born to sit next to the guy that ran. This is Bruce used to look like this back then. We all get old. This is good. Is that Clarence over there? Yeah. Anyway, this is the Bruce Springsteen tribute. This is the first album. That I have. Let's see, what else? There was a guy named, I guess his name was Joe Franklin. Joe Franklin had Joe Franklin's Attic, and he collected everything. You could go into his office, and it was like Sanford and Son. He knew where everything was, but you could see this mess of garbage. It looked like it was ready to be trashed, but it was memorabilia from everybody he had on his shows for years. On Channel 9 in New York, he had this big show that was on every single night, late night, with black and white television. He had Barbra Streisand before she even had her nose worked on. This is a long journey for him, and he had all this collection. So I'm going through my Joey Reynolds attic, and I realize that I'm an addict. The Joey Reynolds addict. And what do I have in my collection? Well, I have things that you probably don't even know I would have. This is the very first broadcast of the Metropolitan Opera, and it was Figaro on December 7th. That's a very significant date in America. 1940 was the first opera recording and broadcast of the Metropolitan Opera. It's a historic broadcast. And I have even the libretto, the thing that we should have for the internet. We're missing a libretto, we're missing Casey Kasem, we have no direction from anybody. Oh, this is the very dashing and handsome Figaro. Well, it figures. Oh, you gotta know that this is very valuable stuff here. The Bruce Springsteen album. Bruce went to Freehold High, and so did my ex-wife. She was there. I went to the reunion class 1 year, and what they did was they took all of the pictures from the yearbook and they put them onto a matching card that you wore on your chest, so everybody who years later would know who you were based on your yearbook picture. And I didn't go to school there, but I went to the thing with my ex-wife who went to school with Bruce Springsteen. And matter of fact, her first husband was in the band. Tony Bertolotti played horn before Clarence in the Bruce Springsteen band. But I was there at this reunion, and I took on one of the little plaques that you put on your chest. The one I chose was Willie Giles as a black guy. And everybody was commenting when I went into the hall of how much Willie have changed. I said, yeah, but my basketball got real good. But we had a lot of fun, and Bruce was there in that town that had a lot of. Freehold's an interesting town. You could smell the Nescafe coffee coming from the west. Whenever it rained, the coffee was being brewed there, and the whole town smelled like coffee when the wind was out of the west, and also like horseshit when because of the racetrack. That was another blend. Oh, you don't want that blend. So what do I have here? Oh, wow. Look at this. I've got recordings. I don't know. I didn't save a lot of stuff. But in my collection, I have a Victrola. Humoresque. Yeah, boy, that's the story of my life. And this is an actual 78 RPM recording made out of wax. They used to use wax before they got to the vinyl here. And let's see, what do we got? Oh, I have something that you probably didn't even know existed unless you were working for Wayne Newton like I was, and that was the first star-shaped disc in history. And this is Playable. It was called, let me see if I can open this thing. It seems like I've had this for a long time. Well, I guess I have. And is this cemented in here? No. All right. This is the original. I was the president of the company. Wayne Newton's star-shaped disc. We made him look very, very handsome here. I did that with Ronald Reagan when he ran for office. I had the same artist do this. Saul Bernstein. He was the father of computer art. He downloaded the Apple stuff in its early days. It took a whole day. You know that Apple logo? That was a whole day of pixel work just to download that back in 1977, I guess it was. So this is it. This is the Wayne Newton playable disc. Look, it's got tracks on it. You can put this on a record player. Nobody has record players anymore. But this is the record label. And Wayne was the first one. Walt Disney wanted this, When You Wish Upon a Star, but I created it and stuck it up their nose. They started a label, which they stole my label, which is called Hollywood Records. Should have sued them. Now, the reason is I was a big shot for a minute. I was the creative director of 20th Century Fox, and this is the original Star Wars album. How about that? Still got the plastic on it. Still got the shrink wrap, they call it. This is specially priced, too. Wow. First one. How about that? Yeah, I went to the print job. Me and Darth Vader became very good friends. That's how I'm going to wear that mask on Halloween. We could wear the Darth Vader outfit and nobody would look. They think it's a politician, somebody running for office. Anyway, this is my collection of stuff, see? And I have the Les Paul guitar, which you gave me. So I'm not such a slouch, you know. But there are things that are in Joey Reynolds' attic. So I have these things if I want to sit and praise myself someday. What else was there in there? Oh, yeah. Oh, hey. I love this album. This is one of my favorites. This is the Notorious Big. But I like the album because it was cool. It's this little baby. That was great. Michael Jackson, I Just Can't Stop Loving You. Did you ever hear that with Shetta Garrett? Michael Jackson and I Just Can't. That's the Ray Charles song. And how about this? This is Frank Virtue of Virtue Studios, who was the first recording studio to record rap in 80 something. And on Broad Street in Philadelphia, Virtue Studios, and he had a hit record years ago. Frank Virtue had a hit record called The Virtues. It was called The Guitar Boogie Shuffle. And he had a house in Pennsylvania that was shaped like a guitar. But who knew? You had to fly over it to see it, the design. You wouldn't see it from the street. You wouldn't know it was a guitar-shaped house. But that's what we did in those days to show off. And then there's the memorable Rats in My Room Part 1 and 2, which was on Swan Records, and that's my recording with Danny Neverth in Buffalo. This is one of the first pressings. I don't know, but I don't think it was the first one, but it's one of them. So I have quite a collection of things, and then I threw everything else out. My way to, let's see. What else do I have? I don't know. Some of this stuff is just, oh yeah, I love myself when I had this picture when I was going to die and meet God. I wanted God to take me away from WOR because it was hell. Take me out of there. Then I got my daughter when she looked like she was in prison. She was going to a school for troubled teens. She looked like she was incarcerated. That one daughter. The other daughter looked like she bought the world. I don't know. We have had quite beautiful lives. Everybody has a story. Everybody. What's really happened, go back to the Bruce Springsteen thing. He and Obama, I'm surprised. My instincts are that he would be very Republican because of Ronald Reagan. But I guess, see, ideology has replaced theology. We had a country that was based on all the Ten Commandments and what we learned in church, what we learned in the Bible, whatever religion you were, was the theocracy, based on what we all had our idea of what God wanted us to do. And whether it was in the Quran or wherever it came from, it was even the Buddha, it was about treating others as you want to be treated yourself. And so we had a theology, and everybody worked that way. And all of a sudden, now we're into ideology. Now, now we want everybody to be the way we are, and we want the different people to go away, and we don't want to take anybody in anymore, and we're selfish and self-centered. And, that's another thing, self-centered fear. It's the fear that I won't get what I want and the fear that I will lose what I have. That's what fear is based on. So, we are philosophical. I was just there for a minute, and I wanted to mention to you on the way out the door here, as it hits me on the ass, let a smile be your umbrella, but don't get a mouthful of rain.